Hi, hey, hello. So, 2024, I got really into zines. I made my first zine in 2022, I made a couple zines in 2023, and then I made all of these in 2024. And I want to show them to you, and I want to talk about kind of my journey in zine making this year and, stuff I want to do next year. So, I think the first one that I made, it was either Cupid's Arrow or an open loving letter to Joe March. But we're going to start with an open loving letter to Joe March because I have a lot more mini zines than folio zines, so I want to kind of balance it. So, let me get closer. Open loving letter to Joe March. I played Joe March in my junior year of high school, and it changed my life, and I'm so normal about Joe March. So this is kind of written as if a letter. It says, Dear Joe, I'm writing to you 2 centuries after you came into the world. A lot has changed, but your initial introduction has not. You and your sisters are immortal, living in the hearts and minds of everyone who reads your story. You are unchanged, but the world is not. You would like it here, I think. I know you are fictional, but you are real in some respect. You were based on your creator. This is also a letter to her. You would have loved it here too. Let me show you around. Your story was loved in your time, but it still is. The marches have been reread and reinvented countless times over the years. The book, as well as many of its adaptations, are now highly respected and widely enjoyed pieces of media. Your story inspired thousands, if not millions of people, and reached even more. It is a classic, and it absolutely deserves that title and praise. And then the second fold looks like this. And it says, Joe, your boyishness was seen in your time as a flaw, your disinterest in romance childish, your longing for a life different than what you were given was a battle to be conquered. Today there are words and terms that may describe what you were feeling. Aromantic, feeling little to no romantic attraction, transgender, identifying as a gender other than the one assigned at birth, and lesbian, a woman experiencing attraction to exclusively other women. These are all headcanons that I have seen thrown around a lot for Joe due to her, the things that she says and the way that she's portrayed in both the book and the various movie adaptations, particularly 2019, because that's the only one that I've seen. I still need to watch the 90s one with Winona Ryder. These terms are more and more entering the mainstream, becoming accepted, embraced, and celebrated. Boyish women are encouraged, supported, and loved just as they are. People like you thrive, although it can still be difficult and dangerous. Today, you would be allowed to explore and decide for yourself how you see the world and how it sees you. You didn't have that choice 200 years ago. I think you would have loved it. Hundreds of thousands of people see themselves in you, in every part of yourself. We love you for all that you are, not just what you became or grew into. I am one of those people. You are a reminder to me that people like me have always existed and always will. People have felt exactly how I have, and I'm never alone. I see myself in you nearly entirely, and I think you'd see yourself in me. I had the honor to portray you in one of the many adaptations of Little Women, the 2005 musical, and it changed my life. Your ambition, determination, and spirit paved the way for and fueled my own. I was terrified of my future, but you showed me I didn't have to be. Although the adaptation is very different from the original, I think it's faithful to you and manages to successfully expand on parts of your character that had a hard time flourishing in the original novel. Sharing my life through yours was one of the best, most affecting experiences of my life. Thank you. And there's a bunch of pictures from that. Little author's note. Successfully expanded on parts of your character that had a hard time flourishing in the original novel. That is in respect to some of the changes that they made to Jo's character, like her writing Little Women. And I know that that's a choice that the 2019 movie made as well, where, like, Little Women is much more acknowledged as, like, writing your own story. And she's just a lot more brash and, like, she stays that way, at least the way that I played her, she stays that way. Throughout the show, she doesn't kind of, like, lose her fire like she does in the book. And I love that for her because that is what makes her character so interesting to me. And then the final page says, You changed and bettered my life along with so many others. That's high praise from the world at large. I know you are fictional, but fiction becomes real in the hearts and lives of those who love it. You're real to me, to the world. With every new interpretation, we try to bring you to life as faithfully as we can, because we love you. Everything you are and stand for and represent is loved and embraced today, as much, if not more, than when you first came to life. We love you, Joe. I hope you can feel it. Sincerely, AJ. I have not actually looked at this or read it through in a long time. I stand by this. I was right. I was real. I was real for this. And then the next zine I made was Cupid's Arrow, my second folio zine ever. And to start things off, something that I could have done way better is done the cover on a white piece of paper and then just printed it on green paper. When I copy this, it takes so much ink, it's not even funny. But Cupid's Arrow, this started, the back says, this zine was originally a literature program piece written for the 2024 speech season. This zine contains that piece, plus fun bonus content. This zine is dedicated to Gio and Osiris, my fellow Arrows, my speech coach, who believed in this piece from its inception, and Grayson, my best friend in the world. I love you all in the truest way I can. I'm not gonna, read the whole thing, because this one's long, but I'm gonna read you, the introduction, and then I'm just gonna flip through the pages to see what they look like. Aromantic, someone who feels little to no romantic attraction. Alloromantic, someone who is not aromantic. They experience attraction normally. The CAS model, a 6-stage theoretical process developed in the late 70s about how queer people come to terms with their identities. I am aromantic. It was not something that was easy or simple to accept and love about myself. The following pieces, through the CAS model, showcase my journey to that acceptance. Any piece without an author listed was written by me. And that includes the stage descriptions. So we start with stage 1, identity confusion, and I basically describe that and what it means to be aromantic within that context. And, why was there still something wrong with me? And then I have this poem that I wrote called Love Untitled No. 1. I wrote this in, 2022, maybe? I don't know. I was in a relationship at the time. Hello? I was in a relationship at the time, did not realize I was aromantic, and I was just like, shit, it says I'm a loud person, but my love is quiet. For people anyway, which I think is worse. And I was talking about the way that I expressed love as, this nebulous thing, and, that is true, that's still true, but I was thinking of it in a context at the time that was not true to how I was. I was trying to force myself into these expectations and these experiences that I just don't have, and it resulted in feeling like I was living a lie, and like I wasn't doing enough for my partner, and it was not good. And something that I was able to do in the physical zine that I was not able to do with the literature program was I was able to put lyrics in here. So I have lyrics from Never Live an Anchor by the Crane Wives, which was on a lot of playlists around this situation that I wrote this poem about. And I have sobbed to that song a lot in regards to this situation. I'm going to read them because I love the Crane Wives. On some level, I think I always understood that these hands of mine were clumsy, not clever. And I tried to do the best that I could, but try as I might, I couldn't bring myself to hold you. It's a secret I keep tucked inside my chest with this heart of mine that's guilty, not remorseful. There is love that doesn't have a place to rest, but it would have buried you if it settled on your shoulders. Oh! Things I wish I could have written. Oh my god, I love Never Love an Anchor. It's such a good song. And then I have a Fall Out Boy lyric. It's I thought I loved you, it was just how you looked in the light. Hum Hallelujah is a song about aromanticism. I say so. I say so. And then I actually made a mess up here. It's supposed to be stage 2, identity comparison. I wrote confusion again, and I still haven't gone in and fixed it. Identity comparison, and then there's a poem that I wrote called Third Time's a Charm, where I'm basically just like, I hate the phase of questioning. I want to know. I want to know, and I want to be done with it. Here's what that spread looks like. I am honestly not really a big fan of the big I'm sorry God. I think that was cringe and stupid, and it would have been more effective if I did not write that on the page. And then I have another lyric from Easier by the Crane Wives, which I've also cried to a lot. Okay, I think my camera has a 10-minute recording limit, and I just don't know that. But I have a lyric from Easier by the Crane Wives, and if I were someplace else, and if I were someone else, and if I were not myself, would this be easier? And that song to me is about queerness and wishing you were someone different because it's easier. And Then stage 3, identity tolerance, where you come to terms with it, but you're not proud of it. And then I have an excerpt from Loveless by Alice Oseman, where the main character is talking about, like, having to come to terms with this identity that, like, she's gonna have to defend for the rest of her life. And, like, that kind of hatred, almost. I mean, not hatred, because this is the stage of tolerance, but, like, the journey that you have to go through from, like, not being proud of yourself and, like, almost having regret for who you are. Like, you know that you are who you are, but you don't like it, and you wish you were different. And so that's what this stage is about. That's what this is about. This excerpt, I had to cut down a lot for the literature program piece, but in the zine, I was able to put everything that I wanted to say through this piece in there. And that goes even more for this next piece, for stages 4 and 5, which were identity, acceptance, and pride. This one is stage 4, for identity acceptance, where people begin to share with the world what they are and who they are. And it's That's Not It by Penelope Daniel, which I found in the A's publication, which is kind of a journal of a bunch of creative writing from Ace and Arrow individuals. And That's Not It by Penelope Daniel. Oh my gosh, I love this piece so much. I had to gut this piece, and I felt so bad about it because it's such a beautiful piece. But in the zine, I was able to completely include it in its entirety, for its full effect. And I love this piece. I loved performing it. I loved including it. I love this piece. And I love this zine. So that was stage 4. I chose that piece to represent it. And then stage 6 was another poem that I found in that journal, Identity Synthesis, where people reach a point where their queer identity is no longer the defining part of their identity as a person. They have found a place in the world, and they know there is a future for themselves. They are excited for it. And I chose Platonic State of Mind by Mira, also from that journal that I mentioned. And then this is where the lit program piece stopped. I ended it with Platonic State of Mind by Mira, the stage 6. And then I have an extra definition. Everything after this in the zine is extra. There's a definition here. It says, queer platonic relationship. A relationship which blurs the line between what is conventionally considered platonic and romantic bonds. And I have another excerpt from Loveless, which, this was never confirmed to be a platonic relationship, but I read this knowing what a platonic relationship was, and I was like, that's a queer platonic relationship. And there's some more lyrics here. This one, we had nowhere to go and every desire for going there. That's very personal to me. It's from Damage Gets Done by Hosier and Brady Carley. And then, so I will share this room with you, and you can have this hard to break, from And So It Goes by Billy Joel. And, yeah, this is, oh my gosh, I love that passage from Loveless. And then there is Love Song for a Best Friend, which is a poem that I wrote. I wish I had edited this more before I put it in the zine, because it's not a very good poem. It's definitely not as good as, like, Love Untitled No. 1, which I did edit pretty heavily in order to get to a version that I liked. I didn't do that with this one. I just kind of was like, oh, I can put this in the queer platonic section, yay. And I didn't really go into it in that much detail. There's Leonard Cohen lyrics. There's a picture of me and my best friend's friendship bracelets that we made in 2023. This lyric from Noah Khan's song, Everywhere Everything, yeah. We're annoying like that. Leonard Cohen lyrics by Boy Genius. And then Little Yellow Rose that I drew for friendship. Screenshots of me and my best friend's Tumblr messages. And then a bunch of different lyrics. Kids Aren't Alright by Fall Out Boy. Graceland 2. Another Boy Genius song, True Blue. And then Everywhere Everything. And it ends with, to any arrows out there scared and confused for their futures, I promise it gets better. There's love out there for us. It's wonderful. And that's Cupid's arrow. It's a lot thicker than it looks, because I did, like, for this spread I taped full panels of colored paper on here, so it's a thick zine. But it's not actually that much longer than any of my other zines. It's hefty. And then I think the one that I made next, oh god, which one did I make next? Oh, these are not in order. What's wrong with me? Which one did I make next? We'll just jump into the summer, because the summer was when I really started to make a shit ton of zines. This one is called Hometown. It's a mini zine. I wrote this for a zine making prompt, like a little zine workshop that I did virtually. I think through Folks Health they had one for their like Pride Camp thing, so I made this in June. Hometown with a question mark after home. This is about my complicated relationship with my hometown, because it never really felt like home to me for a variety of reasons. And I'm not going to read it all because it's a lot of words in very small print, and there are no pictures. It's not very fun. Yeah, just an excerpt from here. The playground 3 blocks away from my house, where I spent countless summer days with friends and family alike, was recently demolished. I'm going to college in a nearby city in the fall. By the time the new playground is done, I'll be gone. It gets me thinking about what else will change after I leave. I'm moving to New York in a year. When I come back, will anything look or feel the same? Will it feel like home? Did it ever feel that way? And then there's also kind of that acknowledgement of that stubborn love for the town. Not every place was bad either. The library has always been a refuge, the lake even more so, though it's not much of a lake, more of an oversized pond, but I hate it when people shit on it. It may not be much, but damn it, it's ours. The bike trails, too, are nice. The houses out in the hills are pretty. There's a gorgeous spot just outside of town, off the highway, where I got my mom's car stuck in the mud with my best friend. That's not what makes it pretty, but it does make it special to me. I wonder how long those fields have until they're nothing but houses. So it's just kind of like, yeah, I like this scene. I think it stood the test of not even a year's worth of time. I like this scene. I think it's very good. And then I believe the next one was Anatomy of a Voice. This scene, I really don't like. I think I micromanaged it too much. I think I planned it out far too much. It's basically, okay, so I've always loved singing, but I've never taken voice lessons. Everything I've learned has been through imitation. And so this is basically just an exploration of, all of my influences vocally throughout the years. It's just too text-based. There's not enough pictures. I just like describe my voice. It's very self-centered and I don't like it. I just don't like the scene. I just don't like this scene. It's not my best work. I don't like this scene. Next one that I made was a simple little collage. It's called On the Slow Death of Things I Know I Can't Give. And this actually started as a web weave on my Tumblr. And it's got like paintings. I credit everything on the back. This was the first zine that I made digitally. I collaged this all digitally. This is a lyric from a Boy Genius song, I Can't Love You How You Want Me To. And then this was Love Untitled number 2, which was about the same person that Love Untitled number 1 was about. And it says, I'm tired and I hurt and I love you so much and I'm sorry you have to see me like this. And then another Never Love an Anchor lyric, I'm selfish, I am broken, I am cruel. And then a Cave Town, I'm just a fool to keep on chasing after nothing great, you are just a fool to keep pretending that you're loving me. And then another excerpt from Love Untitled number 2, you deserve so much better than my sharp edges, my sandpaper tongue, and cactus touch. I Love You, I'm Sorry, Part 2 by Mel Bryan and the Mercy Makers, I love that you're so gentle and I'm sorry I'm so hellish. Another thing from Love Untitled number 1, I'm a loud person, but my love is whose love is quiet and wishes it wasn't. I'm a loud person whose love is quiet and knows that quiet will never be enough. And then I go through all of the pieces that I featured in there. And then I believe the next one that I made was Chapel Roan's California Girls. I'm so proud of this scene. I love it so very much. I used a lot of watercolor. And, like, I got these little butterfly stickers that are so cute. Not stickers, but, like, paper that I cut out and used as stickers. I'm just gonna go through this because I fucking love this zine. There's what it looks like. It says, California is the second to last song on Chappell Roan's debut album, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, and as a fellow performer from a small-ish Midwestern town, it is brutal. In it, Chappell talks about feeling like she'd let everyone down by not becoming successful while she was away, as well as homesickness for her hometown. And then I put some lyrics in there. Thought I'd be cool in California, I'd make you proud, to think I almost had it going, but I let you down. The middle spread is a playlist that I made when I was, like, first being like, shit, I don't think I want to do theater anymore. Like, I don't think it's fun for me. I think maybe I don't want this. And it's called What If I Don't Want This? And the description is, am I good enough? Is it good enough for me? Is it good for me at all? And I just go through all of the songs that are on it. So first is California by Chappell Roan. Second is Class of 2013 by Mitski. Third is Desert Song by MCR. Fourth is Montreal by Penelope Scott. Fifth is Brother by Gerard Way. What Are We Gonna Do Now? Indigo D'Souza. Fireworks, Mitski. There's Nothing Left for You, Mitski. Last Words of a Shooting Star, Mitski. Carry Me Out, Mitski. Snow, Ricky Montgomery. Paul Revere, Noah Kahn. Waiting Room, Phoebe Bridgers. Body to Flame, Lucy Dacus. Go Home, Julian Baker. Cancer, MCR. Why did I put that on here? Disenchanted, MCR. Bag of Bones, Mitski. How to Let Go, August Greenwood. And Scars by the Crane Wives. Scars was not out, by the way, when I made this playlist. I I found a recording online and downloaded it in like I YouTube to MP3'd it and put it in my local files on Spotify so I could listen to it before it released. 'Cause I'm normal. And then this is what the second to last spread looks like. It says, I have loved performing ever since I started, nearly 10 years ago now. It's always been my dream to make it, and I'm closer than ever, but it seems the closer I get, the more it takes from me. I'm not sure I'm built for big cities. I've never lived outside my hometown. Who's to say I don't get to my dreams only to hate them? Who's to say I get there at all? Everyone seems to think I will, but I don't know. It almost feels like they expect me to. When did the thing I took up out of love, become just another box to check off on a to-do list? I wish my dreams still felt like mine. I wish I was certain about what I want. I wish I didn't relate so much to California. And then the back says, California is a beautiful, heart-wrenching song, and it means so much to me. I hope that's clear. Much love to anyone and everyone who sees themselves in this song. I hope we all find what we're looking for. I love this zine. I need more people to read it. I love this zine. I love this zine. It's very pretty. I like it a lot. And then this is a zine draft from a long, long time ago, but I finished it in 2024. It's why everyone is wrong about Lion's Teeth by the Mountain Goats and why I am right about it. I'm just going to read through this one as well because it's a mini zine and it's short and it's silly. It says, disclaimer, art including music is subjective. Different lines can mean different things to different people and we're all beautiful and valid for these different interpretations. I am not trying to actually argue that this is the one correct interpretation of this song. I just like Harperley Lamau. What is Lion's Teeth? Lion's Teeth is the eighth song. It's the eighth song on the Mountain Goats' 2005 album, The Sunset Tree. The album draws from lead singer John Darnielle's real-life experience with his abusive stepfather. And then I doodled the cover and I said this album means so much to me, because it does. What's the existing consensus on the song? If you go to the Genius page of the song, the general consensus is in the annotations is that this is a song about John's fantasizing killing his stepfather. While this interpretation works for the song, I think it's more complex than that. What has John said about the song? Before playing the song at a show in 2007, John introduced it by saying, this is a revenge fantasy, it's called Lion's Teeth. In 2005, he said, it's a song about the sorts of things you think about wishing you could do when you are utterly powerless. Okay. My roommate came home, and then I tried to film it again, but I wasn't really feeling it, and then my SD card was full. So I've deleted that footage. This is the second time I'm doing some of these scenes. But it's a new day. I've reshaved my eyebrow because I was trying to stop myself from bleaching my hair. It didn't work. As you will see, my roots have been touched up. But anyway, we were talking about why everyone is wrong about Lion's Teeth by the Mountain Goats and why I'm right about it. My interpretation, while I agree that the song is a fantasy, I don't think it's a fantasy of directly killing his stepfather. Instead, I think it's about doing something to provoke his stepdad that anyone can see was innocent, so the people around will see his stepfather for who he really is and take him away for the rest of the family's safety. I feel the line's referencing the cops being called, and especially, there's no good way to end this, anyone can see, it's just great big you and little old me support this view of things. And then the back just says, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and it has my old like arts and crafts account on there, because I hadn't rebranded yet. And then we have my third folio zine, Gender I Hardly Know Her. So going into this one, I did script this one out. I scripted out Anatomy of a Voice, and I scripted out Gender I Hardly Know Her. So it is very text heavy, and this is a page with pictures. Yeah, I did the same, like highlighting the important bits. That's, like, there's just a lot of words on not a lot of pages. And I tried to do more of, like, you know, how I have, like, the little doodles of myself narrating that I did in I'm Not Okay, combined with the pictures of myself. And then I tried to do more, like, artsy kind of things, and I don't really think it worked. I'm proud of this zine. I think it's good. I wish that I had gone about it a little bit differently. I'm not gonna remake it because that's too much fucking work, but like, this is a time capsule. I'm not gonna mess with that. But yeah, this one is another very self-centered one. It's kind of just like, and also a lot of the doodles, like, I wasn't good at drawing my hairstyle yet. I really don't like the hairstyle on the cover, and like the proportions on the back drawing are really bad, and like I didn't spend as much time on this zine as I think it deserved, and at the same time I think I spent too much time in the planning phase and not enough in the doing phase, because with zines I really believe that you have to enjoy the process in order to be proud of it. And like yeah, this was also, you'll notice there's like a big gap here. This was my first zine to include a mini zine. It's called To Tea or Not to Tea, that is the question, and it is about my fears of physically transitioning because I'm going to musical theater, and like my voice is my strongest aspect, and so I really feel like I can't transition until I'm done being a mezzo-soprano in theater, and then I can like take a year, go on testosterone, work with voice coaches, and then re-enter the market as a tenor or baritone. Like, that's my plan. And then I was also living with somebody who was not trans safe at the time, and so I talked about that in there, and I was like, I can't transition right now no matter how badly I want to. So that's what that zine was about, the mini zine. And then this was initially supposed to be about what my gender fluidity meant to me. And then I had a gender crisis in August, and I realized that I'm just a feminine trans man. I still use the term gender fluid. I still have a gender fluid flag on my wall, because I do feel like that is what fits me best. Some days I feel more feminine, some days I feel more masculine, and it's all very nebulous and strange, but at my core, I am much closer to a man than I am to a woman, even though typically I don't present that way. And so I just basically go through in this zine, I'm not going to read it all because it's really fucking wordy, like all of the confusion that led me up to there. I identified as non-binary for 3 years, I go through all of that, I like talk about the gender I have gone on with my, not the gender, the journey, the journey I have gone on with my gender identity to get to the point where I am now. And then I made this zine, this little mini zine called Wanna Hear a Joke. I don't like this zine. I think it's bad. I think it's bad. I think it's really bad. I don't like it. I produced like 5 of these to sell at like a thing that I was vending with like my embroidery business, and that also sells zines. And I printed 5 of these, and then I was at the fest and I was like, I'm gonna discontinue this zine. I made it last night, but I'm gonna discontinue the zine because I fucking hate it. So it's called Wanna Hear a Joke. It goes, 2 aromantics walk into a relationship. This feels weird, I agree. Friends. Bad zine. Bad scene. I don't like that one. I think it's stupid. I don't like it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to speak on it. I don't want to know. That didn't happen. And then, thank God that's not the final zine I made this year. I meant to participate in Zine-tober, and then I got manic and I didn't do that. And so the last zine that I made in the year was Crop Circles. I made this in November, and it is basically, it's entirely text-based, but I spice it up with little doodles and changes in font. And I basically just I talked about this in my Crop Circles vlog, but I take you through what happened in the fall and like my manic episode and everything through the lyrics of Crop Circles by Odie Lee. And I think I do want to read this one even though it's long and it's entirely text-based, because I really like it. I really, really like this zine. It is one of, if not my favorite zine that, okay, well, I also made Cupid's Arrow last year, so Cupid's Arrow is my favorite zine that I made last year. This is probably second favorite. I really like this zine, so I think I am gonna read it. It starts, I don't know what happened to fall. Last I checked, it was still July, but it's November, somehow. It snowed today, first of the season. Somehow I feel nothing. Somehow I feel everything. These days I've been lying about my age, pretending I'm older, worser, people stay away. This was supposed to be a mini-zine. This was supposed to be done in early October. It's neither. Oh well. The zine started with the lyrics above on the first spread, along with a paragraph I never finished. It began, August was hard. September ran through my fingers like sand at a beach I wish I'd visited more. If I were to continue, I think I'd say October passed me by. I did not want it to. October was full of things I'd been excited about. The play I was in was going to start. I dropped after the first rehearsal. I was in touch with someone I thought I'd lost. They should have stayed lost. Halloween was coming up. I only ended up dressing up once. I did not get invited to any parties and did not throw one of my own like I wanted to. I was going to do Zine-tober this year. I didn't make a single zine. October passed me by. I desperately did not want it to. Lately I've been coming on too strong to men I've never seen before and won't see me for long. I dated a guy for around 2 weeks. I shouldn't have. I knew going in that there was only a very, very slim chance we'd be good for each other, but I figured if anyone could fix him, could make him want to be better, to change and grow past everything holding him back, it would be me. But no one can fix anyone else. We have to fix ourselves. We have to want to fix ourselves. He didn't. He doesn't. But he made me realize that I do. So I left, and he went back to his unhealthy coping mechanisms, and I went back to the people who were waiting for me to come to my senses. 2 of my friends stopped talking to me because I was dating this guy. It fucked me up so bad I told my mom about it. But I don't think I could have left without their input and support after they started talking to me again. And I don't think I've changed. It was easier, I think, to believe I was indeed a good person before I went off the rails last month. Because the last time I was like that, where I was cutting people off, manipulating situations for my own gain, leading people on, and only caring about myself to the point of incredible irritability when anyone else expressed concerns, was middle school, years ago. But I did this now, when I'm supposedly past all of that. I think my friends are letting me off the hook far too easily. I haven't changed. I'm still the rotten little kid I always was. Doesn't this prove it? No, and I'm too scared to say the same, so my carpet's got crop circles. My friends reached out to each other to talk about me, and they said something along the lines of, the AJ we knew wouldn't do this. Hearing that was devastating, but it's what I needed. I had already felt that I hated who I was becoming, but hearing that was the nail in the coffin. I had to be better. My carpet's got crop circles these days. There has always been a part of me that was cruel. There has always been a part of me that gets angry and lashes out at people. There has always been a part of me that was apathetic and nasty and mean. I have always hated those parts of myself. Frequently I talk like these are the defining parts of me, when that is simply not true. 95% of the time, those parts of me do not see the light of day. That says more about me than those parts do. At least, that's what I've been told. I'm really trying to believe it. I think I will always struggle with those parts of me, but so long as I never let them win, as long as I choose not to let them win, I'll be okay. I hope I'll be okay. All these words of mine I've said before, I'm running out of things to say, silence I can't endure. These days I work 2 jobs and blow half the paycheck on consecutive around $10 purchases. These days I buy breakfast foods and can't bring myself to eat them. These days I make myself tea and tell myself I'm starting over. These days I never start over. These days I learn songs on a uke that isn't mine about letting go when the song in question was supposed to be let go of 3 years ago. These days I light incense because the apartment smells fucking horrendous and I talk to gods I don't know if I believe in. These days I tell myself I love where I live. These days that's a lie. These days I'm learning Greek because my online friend is Greek and when I visit him I want to speak his native tongue. These days I find myself repeating over and over, "Θα ήθελα να πάω σπίτι," I would like to go home. I don't know where that is anymore. These days my screen time makes me hate myself. These days, the only songs I write are thinly veiled allegories for suicide. These days, I don't think about hurting myself. These days, I want to run away. These days, I never want to move. Every time I think I'm done, but yet another crop of memories springs up in my head. These days, I miss my friend's mom, who died last fall. Unprompted, I cried about her for an hour and 45 minutes to people who never knew her. She was one of the best people I think I'll ever meet. She asked me when I came out as non-binary if I wanted my name in the scrapbooks changed. Oftentimes, her home felt more like a home than mine did. All she ever wanted was to see the people she cared about happy. She loved her husband and daughter more than anything. Anything they loved, she did too. She cared because they did. I don't think I'm phrasing this right. She was made of love through and through. She loved the world with such ferocity and hope and earnesty. It was incredible to watch. She was the best director I've ever had. She wanted so badly to survive to direct Frozen Jr. at the youth theater her daughter and I met and spent our childhoods at. Instead, Frozen Jr. was produced on a stage refinished in her memory. She didn't get to see her daughter graduate. She couldn't leave the house anymore when she got her senior pictures taken. It was me and my mom in her stead. We, her daughter and I, were dating at the time. She'll never know we broke up, or that it was peaceful, or that we're still good friends. She'll never see either of us be our proud, aromantic selves. She doesn't know I'm going to New York to pursue acting professionally. She doesn't know her daughter played an amazing Antigone. She'd be so, so proud. These days I miss her more than I know how to express. My mom wrote her obituary. She couldn't move very much when I said goodbye to her, but all she wanted was to give me a hug. Some of her last words, when she could barely speak at all, were "tell them I loved them," to the board of directors at the youth theater, which she had been a proud member of. Man, I miss her. Frequently I find myself wishing I could just talk to her again, ask her for advice. I wish I had gotten to know her as a friend, in addition to my girlfriend's mom. I was always so awkward around her when we were dating. I really wish I hadn't been. Her daughter and I did not cry at her celebration of life, which was held in that youth theater. I think we were both still in shock. My parents planned that event, along with some others from the theater and her family. My parents bought a shit ton of fake purple flowers, purple was her favorite, for table decorations, and they sat in our basement for months. I've put them in my car now. I get a lot of compliments on them. Her ashes were mixed with the root ball of a purple tree. I miss her so badly. I didn't have enough time with her. None of us did. Here I am. I'm crying out for change. These days I miss more than anything. I miss my dog. I miss my mom. I miss my friends. I miss the production of Addams Family I was in. I miss Little Women. I miss Averno. I miss who I used to be. I miss how I used to feel. I miss it all. My therapist thinks I might have bipolar disorder. A lot of things make more sense through that lens. Why meds haven't really worked. Why I haven't been acting like myself. Why I have problems with money and motivation. I don't know. Lots of food for thought. I want to be better. More than anything. I just don't know how to start. The smallest steps are too big for me. Sleep schedule? Haven't had one of those in a long time. Haven't eaten breakfast consistently in even longer. I haven't set foot in a gym since July, and even then keeping that routine was a huge struggle. But I have to change. God knows I want to. God knows I need to. I won't survive in New York like this. That's another thing. 2 months ago, I was dead set on not going to New York, and now I'm legitimately counting down the days until I go. I hope I'm not just using it to run away from all my problems and mistakes here. I can't tell if I'm coming back to myself or straying from myself in this. My friends are all worried about me for various reasons, most of them valid. I hate it when people worry. I don't think I'm worth that. Apparently I am, though, just on virtue of being alive, I guess. I hope I'm on the right track in all of this. I hope whatever steps I manage to take, they're in the right direction. So the fall passed me by. That's okay. The sun will rise tomorrow, as will I, as will the people I care about, even if for some it's just in spirit. I have to get better. For me. If not for me, for them, but primarily for me. I'll start weightlifting again, go to my jobs, which I love, and I'll see live music and make art and make friends and write all kinds of things. Someday I'll get tattoos, maybe a matching one with my mom. I'll be an active player in my life, starting now. I have to fix me myself. I want to. I just have to figure out how. And it'll be difficult and strange, but I'll do it, because I want to. And I'll change and stay the same all over again. Someday I'd like to see Odie Lee live again. Her music is life-changing. Someday my carpet won't have crop circles. I don't think I've changed. That was Crop Circles. I love this scene. I'm so very proud of it. I made some great shit this year. And I made some also shit this year. We really have like all ends of the spectrum. And I'm so excited to keep creating and keep making zines. I'm working on one right now about an iPod Shuffle. this little guy that my mom found and that I pirated music onto. For legal reasons, that's a joke. I just mean that I ripped the CDs that I bought and own onto my computer and then uploaded them into iTunes, which is legal, because I'm not selling them. It's legal. I'm really excited for the new year. I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna participate in Zinetober this year. And I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this. And hopefully I'll make some stuff that I'm proud of. And hopefully I'll get to share it with you. So, thank you.